Hello and welcome back to the North American LCS for this bout between Golden Guardians and Counterlogic Gaming. I am Rivington Bislin III, and I couldn't let Meteos have all the fun as I've pulled in Aiden Zyrene Moon for this game. Welcome to the desk, baby.
I'm excited to be here. I'm actually really excited about Golden Guardians versus CLG. Like this
You're
is
so excited you can't even talk.
Oh, seriously, but I need to get that out of the way, get those fumbles out, and just focus on this, because Golden Guardians, it's been a long time since people have been excited about them. And at the same time, CLG has that same upward trajectory. Both these teams are looking better and better every week, and now they have to go head-to-head.
Well, we're about to see them go head-to-head. Time to boot up the starting rosters. Selecting on the blue side, it is Golden Guardians. That means in the top lane, it's Lorlo. Roaming in the jungle is Contracts. Holding down mid lane, Mickey. Your bot lane and support, Deftly and Matt with Coach Tyler.
And facing them on the red side, it's going to be Counterlogic Gaming. In the top lane, it's Mr. President Darshan himself. In the jungle, it's Rainover. Mid is Huhi. Bot is Stixay with support Biofrost and Coach Zix.
And in what would have been a battle at the bottom in spring, this matchup pits two teams trying to keep their hot streaks going.
Yeah, like I was saying before, and if Golden Guardians pick up a win here, they'll have surpassed their wins from spring in exactly half the time. One of the reasons they're getting so much success has been at their drafts, where Golden Guardians always manage to pick up power picks no matter what their opponents ban, which is allowing them and their newest member, Mickey, to really shine. You think about the drafts that happened today, there has not been a single Heimerdinger pick or ban, but I expect that in this game.
I can't wait. Last week on NALCS Tonight, Huhi showed respect for Mickey, but highlighted the differences and how they approach the mid lane.
Yeah, Huhi said that Mickey really focuses on the laning and playing assassins and kind of getting a lead, whereas Huhi has made an entire career on CLG from roaming and affecting the map in lieu of a farm lead. So Huhi, he looks best when he's playing to his side lanes with Rainover to help their bot lane snowball. And that's kind of been the winning formula here for them, is going away from Huhi's lane, being a little bit of a selfless player. And he's also played a lot of different champions. He's played 8 unique champions in 8 games. So question is, what is he going to pull out here today up against Mickey? Because he would potentially have counter pick here.
And we talked about how that was kind of, you know, the problem with Huhi is that he had those champions, but none of them really stood out unless he could hit that Aurelion Soul, and then it would be a huge impact on the game. Now, each one of those champions in the 8 uniques he's played all step up to a different level and are an impact champion he can play.
And you can see Mickey, the jacket comes off.
Oh no.
Ready to go up against Huhi, and Mickey really did have a fantastic week last week. Was his birthday, of course, and popped off. Couldn't really ask for much of a better present than that, but right now, I want to know what CLG ban here, because Golden Guardians have shown Heimerdinger Fiddlesticks, very high priority. They can play the Rakan with Matt. They can play all of these different champions that a lot of people are kind of letting through the pick ban phase. And I want to see what ends up going over here, or if they start making a trade, because there's just so many power picks for Golden Guardians in particular.
Still that Nocturne up for Counterlogic Gaming on that, is 9 seconds left here for Golden Guardians. Shen and Talia already taken out as they try to delete a little bit of global pressure along with those power picks, and it's going to be Sejuani aimed over at the jungle to start things off.
Well, if you ban the Nocturne, they'll pick Kindred. If you ban neither of those, they'll probably pick something else. Well, I expect Kindred here, but that means if CLG know like Heimerdinger Fiddlesticks, there's a high priority there, but there's also a high priority on things like Rakan and Xayah. So if they go Xayah Rakan, you get Fiddlesticks Heimer. You can basically trade bottom lanes, but you got yourself a pinch on the jungle, which we're kind of, I think the thing that would match this is maybe Rainover's Gragas or a Graves.
CLG taking all of the time. 4-4 and 5-3 are the score lines for these teams here as they enter into week 5, and the Trundle will be picked up to start things off. Rainover feels comfortable in the jungle on that, and they will grab Stixay's Varus.
Ooh, okay, interesting. Heimerdinger, Fiddlesticks, lock it in, go next, let's go.
Yep, the 1-2 very fast, or should I say the 2-3 coming in for Golden Guardians, not giving CLG any time. But that 30 seconds to rebuttal here coming back. Final pick for first phase in Counterlogic Gaming side.
And you can see how confident Golden Guardians were in that, because they locked those in so quickly and just put the pressure back on CLG, where they're about to have to lock in their next pick, and we barely stopped talking about Golden Guardians. And yep, Tahm Kench is expected with the Varus that has no way to really escape the Heimerdinger or the Fiddlesticks in terms of CC, so that will add on to it. We have seen some things pop up as Heimer counters, like Gangplank is actually really good into Heimerdinger.
About that.
But the Varus, we'll see what he's able to do on this because he blind picked it. And you would assume that it was either going to be a Rakan and Xayah or a Heimerdinger Fiddlesticks.
Looking at that Heimer Fiddle as well, something that Golden Guardians played last week in their victory over 100 Thieves, a 4-0 and 10 Heimerdinger with a 2-1 and 14 Fiddle, so they're able to play these somewhat back-to-back, if you will.
Yeah, and they synergize incredibly well. They both shove the lane, they both constantly have the crow bounces and the turret damage, and it means that you can take turrets by just shoving up and keeping the minion wave on the other side of the map. And then what has been working for Golden Guardians is contracts coming bottom lane and 3-man diving and constantly putting pressure onto the turret and onto the members underneath. Because point-and-click CC with follow-up CC is so effective at making those dives happen. So even focusing somebody like Biofrost's Tom Kench could be a winning formula for them. And I expect Matt is a large part of those dives. Because when I think back years ago when Matt was making his debut in the NALCS, Team Liquid Academy, back with Dardoch and Fabi, they 3-man dove off of his calls all the time.
All the way, all those Bard plays, Cosmic Bindings, being able to journey in and out. A lot of his plays, or the plays, I should say, came from that bot lane. Mid and top focus here for Phase 2 of bans. A lot of those at Lorlo right now. They still feel comfortable to be able to bring something to the table that'll count. There's the Gragas getting locked in.
Yep, I like this.
See on the side of Golden Guardians how they answer with the rest of their composition.
I actually think that Gragas top is a little more effective than Gragas in the jungle right now. I would expect a Poppy potentially as a good counter pick here to stop things like Body Slam. But if they really want to actually punish the Varus pick harder, you go with GP or you go with Ornn to make the engages just that much better.
Could give Reignover something to chomp at with that subjugate. Mickey's going to go back to the Talon as those mids kind of make their way all the way through that he would love to pick. And one of the biggest for him. That Talon play came up big for him just against Clutch in Week 4 on day 1.
Yeah, he was 6-4 and 6 on it, but the scoreline is not indicative of the way he played.
No.
He played out of his mind with Smite mid Talon, which means that he starts with the Hunter's Talisman, starts on the Raptors, gets level 2 in lane, and then he constantly roams around. And it puts pressure on Huhi to match him. And right here, is that a Renekton in the mid lane?
That's a lot of AD across the map, so you're going to see Stixxay with that obvious AP build for them. But it's still going to be a rough lane against the Heimerdinger and Fiddle. Looking at who he's champions, we talk about a bit of that uniqueness. He played it back against TSM in Week 1, so it won't be unique, but it will be quite some time since he's put it on the Rift.
Yeah, but he's obviously practiced on it. It was an Aurelia counter that they were using for a while, and playing it into Talon means you can match his wave clear a bit, but you don't bring Smite in that matchup, I believe. So the Talon has an early advantage over you. But now I'm looking at the compositions. Counterlogic Gaming, pretty focused on physical damage. They have a little bit of magic damage in there, and they have Shred, so it won't be too bad against the Ornn, but you do have to worry about that later in the game. Whereas I really like the spread from Golden Guardians, having a lot of physical damage from the jungle and mid, and then a lot of magic damage from the bot lane.
It seems like Golden Guardians getting what they want within the picks. CLG also getting what they want, but kind of reacting to what those picks were within the champion select. We're about to be on the Rift. Golden Guardians versus Counterlogic Gaming. And feet have hit the fountain. We are ready now to be seeing where Golden Guardians from blue side goes to start things off. CLG coming in from the top red side in the red trunks.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest here. I think Golden Guardians have one of the best possible drafts that they could have in the entire game for themselves right now. You have Contracts on an aggressive jungler that he can make plays on. You have Mickey on the Talon mid with Smite that he's made his entire career when he's successful on these signature assassin champions. And then you have Golden Guardians, Deftly, and Matt on this pressure bottom lane that will shove the wave, set up dives, and is so good. And Deftly was the person who was even getting like Heizendong lessons. And you see he's going back and forth, setting up the vision, resetting it on the turrets. And then they have Lorlo on a tank that has engaged to group up with the team fights. Like this, I don't think could have been much better at all for Golden Guardians. I think they got 4 of the picks that they wanted in the 4 roles that they would say is, you know what, considering bans, exactly what they want.
And CLG, considering the danger that comes from these lanes, Biofrost with Spellbook, but starts that cleanse, figuring I'm going to need to break this silence, this CC, whatever hits me in lane, and get Stixxay to safety at some point here in the early levels. Really taking that into consideration may lessen the blow and pressure of this early game from Golden Guardians.
They're going to go in and try to interrupt Mickey on these Raptors.
Why not?
And you see right there, it looks like he's not doing it. Going to wait a second. Now he's going to go.
Make their way in. They say, yeah, Mickey's not doing it.
You get them low, then
Makes it easy.
You throw out the W. This will kill it, plus the smite. And there you go. Level 2. And he missed one melee minion.
Yep. Cleared up by Huhi. This is actually perfect turret aggro shot too, so he'll have one hit and oh! Caster Curse, sorry about that. 2 minutes on the clock and the advantage just flowing on the side of, no, I'm just kidding. So we'll see that pressure back and forth. Huhi will have the lane push, so it might call some presence from Contracts to start things off after he gets a few of his early marks. But Mickey doesn't seem to be perturbed about this at all. He will be in Huhi's face to start things off. Taking minion damage, though, slows him down just a tad. So a good bit of back and forth to start things off. Matt and definitely pushed up, as you would expect, in this lane, as they are just going to be such a nuisance here. I can already see CLG pulling their hair out.
Yeah, and you see the pressure, the fact that, ooh, nice dodge there. It means he doesn't get slowed and doesn't have extra damage come out on him. And something to talk about in the mid lane is Rainover had actually started Sweeper. He swept, Huhi got experience for, so Huhi at level 2 off the first wave. So Mickey didn't have this level 2 advantage over him because of the smite for a large period of time in the beginning of the game. So Huhi getting that kind of Sweeper and that little bit of extra experience from a killed ward meant he wasn't actually going to lose the matchup right off the bat.
Kind of the things you have to consider. People say, what's next? What's going to change? How can you lessen the blow of this guy getting an entire camp first? It's a ward. You don't have to think too hard or too deep into it.
Yeah. Something else is Contracts. Hold on. He's going after Rainover. Here comes Mickey.
Double buffs for both. That would be huge. It could go over to Mickey. Maybe a reset on the one, but the hit comes in! And Rainover stays alive as Huhi comes in with Ignite.
And Contracts flashed forward there. He got really aggressive for it. Mickey wasn't going to follow that up and flash to follow. If he did, then it would have been a kill. But he decides not to, and look right here. Huhi went aggressive, and it's just Matt showing up right in time to push him off the wave and help him shove.
Ruthless Predator locking down Mickey. A nice job to make sure that does not go any further. Here's the play one more time. Just expecting he would go up for the clear or check on Scuttle.
Yeah. And yeah, Mickey doesn't follow there. And that's what ends up getting him killed because it's a good follow-up there and having Huhi in the area to throw down the Ignite and help out.
Contracts flash down, but also looking at Rainovers there to make sure that play happens. So a few summoners spent by the junglers may calm things down for them.
Yep.
And we see on the bot side of the map, Contracts not having too much to farm. Should be able to take his Raptors unless Mickey grabs it. No, Mickey just goes to the lane. Nice guy.
Well, Contracts actually isn't in an awful spot. He did get his first mark. Medios was literally just talking about this on the analyst desk where if you kind of lose the 50-50 on which Skull Crab's going to have it, it's not on your side. Go into the enemy jungle, farm up some more camps, and then come back to your Scuttle Crabs. It takes 40 seconds to have it swap to the other Scuttle, and that's how he got his first mark there, is by having it just wait, and so he got it at 3 minutes.
Little positioning towards bot lane, but you're very hard lane to gank with that cleanse onto Tom Kench. Looks like Contracts is trying to find some vision at this point.
Look at how far back they are. Look at how far back Stixxay and Biofrost both are.
Oh, yeah.
Where they're like, oh, we know the strategy, we know the formula. They're going to come dive bottom lane, so let's just make sure we back off and make sure it doesn't happen. But they lose turret HP for that. And now Rainover's on the bottom side. Kind of had the Scryer's Bloom help him out a bit. Controlling vision, whereas Contracts is just cycling the jungle. So Golden Guardians actually have to back up here.
A lot of this action in mid towards bottom side of the map. 39-31 on the top side as the waves are pretty much even out. Another Ruthless Predator, huge call of the week. And it's going to be Mickey now possibly going down. Rainover now is the target as Mickey comes right back in. His flash was up, not having to use it in the previous play where Contracts fell. And they get that retribution kill now just 6 minutes into the game.
Cool. Just a very good, kind of clean Talon mechanics there. Something that people don't know is that Talon's Q is a basic attack reset, So if you Q auto, you get that off instantaneously, and you can do it on multiple targets. So Mickey just Qs back into the fight, gets a basic attack off for that last 150 HP that they need to shred off of him.
A lot of love for this mid lane already, Zyrene, trying to get something for Mickey. Contract's trying to find Reignover. Just keep an eye on where their pressure is.
Oh my gosh.
Let's see this one more time.
Maybe I don't hate smite mids. Like, what? But right here, Hui goes in, empowers not the stun, but the Q, and then Mickey hides in the brush, throws out the W, then Q into the basic attack for the reset. So yeah, that's really fast kind of motion there where it's a Q into another attack. Just ended up bursting them.
That's big for Mickey too. Tiamat finished, and now he can get in the lane and just be huge in pushing that wave, keeping Hui pushed up a little more, because Hui basically Tiamat's the entire wave to start as Renekton.
And it's funny because Hui was talking about how Mickey is mostly going to focus on lane, right? He's mostly going to focus on lane. He's an assassin player. I play for my team. I play for the side lanes. But he picked Renekton into the Talon to kind of focus on the lane matchup. But the Talon's going to have more roaming power. The Talon is going to be able to clear out camps and get a small advantage over time just by using Smite. And that means that Hui's on this Renekton, which is not known for team fighting, not known for roaming, and it may be something that's actually pretty bad here for CLG later on in the game.
A push for Biofrost
Mickey's
there.
Coming
nice
in.
hit on the blast cone by Contracts. Mickey over the wall. They're going to dive under the turret. And Biofrost is down. Mickey putting that teammate to work. What? A piercing arrow from Stixay to pull one back. Just the counter logic game.
The presence of mind there from Stixay to say, oh, he screwed up. He's walking back under the turret, flashes, throws out the Q, and I believe there was a W behind it too for the percent missing HP.
Oh, you screwed up.
You done goofed.
So 8 minutes in, a lot of back and forth, kill for kill so far. Every time we see one come up, able to trade one back, even if it's just a few minutes after. 400 gold lead here for Counter Logic Gaming. Let's see if that's in CS in just a few lanes. It is. And now that everybody's back from base, we can see a few more items. Definitely getting his lost chapter. Pickaxe for Stixay as he gets a little bit more damage in to start things off.
You can see even more roaming, the mobility boots for Mickey. This bottom side is going to be...
Wow.
I say you revisit this bottom side when you have ultimate here for Mickey. Mickey's going to go top side, look for maybe the blue, look for some camps here. But eventually, that bottom side, there's no flash on Stixay. It makes him vulnerable to ganks. Also makes him vulnerable to Matt's ultimate when he hits 6.
We mentioned Mickey's play at the 6-4-6, how that scoreline wasn't really indicative of what happened that game. He was kind of playing not poorly, but definitely targeted and not playing accordingly to those ganks. We'll see this play one more time before I finish as they dive onto Biofrost.
Goes over, Mickey gets a flash out of Biofrost, goes, but watch this. When Mickey locks himself into the animation going forward, he goes, okay, flash, that's a Q and W. There's a W behind that, which does percent missing HP from 6A onto Mickey.
There's a lot of heat from that turret as well. But the finish, Mickey had a rough early game and was still able, as you said, to make the plays, control the roam. That roam is gigantic as he was just making people have a wild goose chase, flipping over those walls. So still eyes on Mickey having a good game to start now. He could wreak havoc very early. Slowly coming up on 10 minutes. We have just about a 20 CS lead as Lorlo starts to gain advantage in that top side even more.
Lorlo kind of just been silently doing Ornn's job in the top lane, just waiting, getting a CS advantage. I do like his itemization, but at the same time, it's only really going to be effective against the Gragas, so it's a lane thing of Abyssal Mask. It's not going to help too many people on his team. Maybe the Fiddlesticks and the Heimer later, but hold on.
Oh, Guhi right onto Mickey. Reignover's there as well. They throw on the Subjugate, and it looks like they're going to be able to get out this one safely. Very tricky for Contracts. Seems like he was trying to bait him in just a little bit more. Mickey said, I could try to do something. They decide to disengage even with Lamb's Respite up. Very touch and go in the mid lane there. Flashes blown, all except for Mickey's and the 4 players participating in the fight.
So Mickey, that's his ultimate down. It'll be back up shortly, but allowing himself to have pressure in different parts of the map is kind of how they're going to win this game if they play to the side lanes. And Golden Guardians, this bottom lane turret for CLG is below half HP. It's really where they want to visit and play off the fact that there's so much pressure here from the Fiddlesticks Heimerdinger bottom lane they drafted that it's really kind of a shame if you don't play to this lane and try to get this first turret off of it. And you'll see Contracts and Mickey, both, I would say, are going to feint towards this lane here and put pressure on them to at least back up.
And it's got to be, it's as well credible to note, 1-0-0, 111 CS as Stixxay still has that lead, managed to find a kill in such an oppressive lane where you're always silenced, always having a skill shot flying at your face.
Ooh, I like
CLG's been able to stay strong, but now to the top side, we get our first bit of action. Looks like they're just going to go ahead and use that Zanya since we're past the 8-minute mark to get a few more plays out of those.
Yeah, the stopwatch goes down from Darshan, something that you just take kind of for the laning phase to not get dove. Lorlo, he wants to back because he has very little mana, but he just completes. Might have fallen on Huhi, rain over on the
Surprise. A lot of love for this mid lane all game long.
Whoever wins this mid lane will have their mid laner pivot to the side lanes. And right now, I think this is going to be a fight over the Scuttle Crab, because this might be the next mark, too. I think it might come up in a second here. Yep, there it is.
Pillars out. They lose a bit of denial on that, and Mickey's going to be able to crush that one down right quick.
I'm unsure if he actually gets the mark for that. No, he didn't. I don't even... Does that mean he didn't even touch the Scuttle Crab? Because I'm pretty sure it was changed that you don't have to get the last hit on it. You just have to attack it.
Oh, clicking contract.
Unlucky.
2 marks at the moment. Keep an eye on that.
Yeah, he attacked it twice, but I guess there was too much time that elapsed before it died.
All right.
So,
Unfortunate. Yeah. Unlucky. Abyssal Mask for Lorlo on the top side. Teleports are still up on the side of Golden Guardians. Lorlo low on mana, but feels like he can still take the fight with what he has. Darshan is low as the minion waves meet together, and he somewhat baits in the fight. It looks like he actually just wants to back here.
Yeah, he definitely wants to back. His TP is not available, though. One of the things about Auron that people don't always kind of give a lot of credit to is him just being able to purchase while he's not in base. Because when he buys things like the Abyssal Mask or the Catalyst, it gives him a way to constantly heal himself in lane. Mickey going in on Huhi, but Renekton is just pretty slippery.
Absolutely. No new pair of shoes for Golden Guardians today. He makes his way quickly to the right. It seems like they want to start putting a little bit more pressure on the vision. They laid down pink wards. They want to be able to protect those pink wards, but also have basically a light bright behind the dragon.
Yeah, it was like they made a smiley face of wards, CLG did. There was like 2 control wards and then that little bit of a crest there behind the back of the dragon pit. But they're just making sure they're not ganked. They're just like, the talent could come from anywhere once he leaves the lane. And so clearing out that vision is huge. And you can see they even have control wards on the other side of their Tri-Brush on the right. And just making sure, because Golden Guardian's plan is obvious. Dive the bottom lane, kill them, but you have to find a way to do that. And there they go.
Teleport coming in. That one of those smiley wards is going to be very helpful for Darshan. Ultimate's up for him so he can cast everybody back in. Oh, the pillar! Hitting up Matt. He will not be able to use the Fiddlesticks ultimate as Rainover goes down. Matt uses the stopwatch perfectly to deny the incoming damage. Lorlo skirts out of the fight and the damage is onto Huhi as he quickly calls the meek. And it's going to be Matt going down. 25 seconds on these clocks means no more participation for the Fallen. Contracts those down. Lamb's Respite. That pulls CLG into a false sense of security. And the missiles are launched by Deathly. Target down as Biofrost falls.
Everybody is in the bottom lane. All 10 members at 14 minutes show up in attendance. They know that this is what's going to happen. They know both teams want to play to this side. And CLG end up losing just a little bit more than Golden Guardians on it. See this one more time here. It starts off, definitely puts down an ultimate turret here to make sure that they have to back off, and then he zones them. The TP comes out too, and then the interrupt with the pillar from Rainover. And right here from Lorlo, he actually got eaten and couldn't hit the ram again. And so that was one big part of the fight, because it would have been even better for them. But then Huhi, with the slice and dice, almost picks up Mickey too. Hold on, more action. Biofrost using ulti to the mid lane.
Straight to the mid. Abyssal Voyage pops out, and they will be able to deliver a few more members. Power in 3 here for CLG as they continue down for the Ocean Drake. Second Ocean Drake in the game. CLG already capitalizing on the first one.
Turret bottom. Oh, Contracts gonna have to flash away, but that's the first turret.
Good gold. It's now a 1,000 gold lead just about as Golden Guardian starts to tick up. Dragons left alone as nobody really wants to put themselves out on a limb for that much pressure on the map. Back to top side. A little bit of even out here in the CS by Darshan. The captain playing well. So far even in the game. great teleport there to start things off as CLG try to activate her on the map.
Yeah, but right now, Golden Guardians, they got the first turret bottom lane. They gave solo gold over to the Heimerdinger of Deathly. And now the Ocean Drake is on the table. What Golden Guardians want to do is they've already half reset and they have control wards in the area. They need to get this Drake and then start swapping Heimer around the map and open it up so that Talon can actually go to different lanes. If you put Talon in a side lane that has longer times to be shoved out and come back, you give him longer times to roam to other side lanes, or to other lanes and roam around mid in the jungle, etc.
Everything becomes his, basically.
Yeah, basically. But yeah, getting this Ocean Drake is something that they should prioritize very highly, swapping the lanes and then getting the Rift Herald so that they're still active on the map instead of just sitting on this lead they have.
One of the biggest things I think for Talon as well is if you can break that outer line of turrets, it's always good to have a shorter path to run back and forth, but you just multiply the amount of walls you get to jump over in a safer manner, right? You're not running into mid turret, you're not running bottom. Here, looks like he's gonna try to infiltrate anyways. With that bot down, feels a bit more safer, and he hops out. Remember, Talon can only use those certain walls for a period of time.
Oh, mid lane, mid lane.
Then they go on.
They're gonna flank Pookie here. Here comes Fiddlesticks.
Then each time they've had a hard time trying to get to him. The fear is in, and now he's gonna be drained down. Contracts picking up his second kill of the game.
And he gets a mark on top of it. I believe that's 3 for him, and that's gonna mean they're gonna go straight towards that top side of the map. Set up the Heimerdinger to shove the wave, potentially go for the Rift Herald. They said, no, we're not going to go after that Ocean Drake. There's nothing really to gain on the bottom side besides that, but there's more to gain on the top side of the map. And getting that pick on Huhi is definitely going to slow them down, but hold on. CLG are definitely wise to this. They see it 100%, and they just got to rotate top side.
Get a few pushes on that wave with the turrets means they have to consider pushing that wave out.
Man.
They call Stixay and Biofrost up. It doesn't look like they want anything for now. As you were saying, Mickey might want to go to the side lanes. It doesn't seem like either CLG is letting him or Golden Guardians is really ready to make that split.
Well, I liked how they spread him out and then they collapse back on mid with using Matt's ultimate to kind of close the distance there with the Fiddlesticks. But now they want to have Deathly go to the top side and then keep the Talon centralized. Keeps him closer to Raptor camps, keeps him closer to both options in terms of the side lanes. So even in Central, I actually, you know, now that I think about it more, I do actually like this from the Talon.
Yeah, take and eat it too.
Roaming is big.
But that doesn't happen very often.
You got to watch out for stuff like this. Definitely hanging around.
And also watch that Abyssal Voyage behind him. Good thing he still has his top turret up and very healthy. Lorlo is able to really dominate on that side of the lane. Now Darshan and him are in the bot side of the map, somewhat pushing towards mid. It looks like they're kind of rotating over here. A rotation up from Huhi. And a bit of a match by Lorlo and Darshan to meet each other just above Dragon. Rainover down to half health. Very fast from Contracts and Mickey.
Yeah, Mickey has that Dust Blade now. So Dust Blade plus lethality, and there isn't really much armor built, just the Ninja Tabi. It's not even a good Ninja Tabi buy. If you think about how this team has a Kindred basic attacker, then there's this Talon that wants to be a burst mage with physical damage, and then you have CC from the Heimerdinger and the Fiddlesticks. You want to buy different types of boots here. You want to buy Merc Treads, you want to buy Tabi, but right here in this fight, you want to have a good fight.
That's got to feel very good for them. They just used Devour onto Darshan, and now they can go for Stixay. Huge damage on the counter. Logic Gaming. What an attack from Golden Guardians. Mickey over the wall to deter the follow-up damage. Rainover catches a bit of that pie in the face as they also lose Biofrost, and what a hit from Golden Guardians.
And that's CLG's bottom lane. The bottom lane has been performing so well. Ends up getting taken out, and look at this, Baron is spawning right now. They have a Heimerdinger. It does so much damage to it. They're going to be able to pick this up. The smite, Rainover on the other side, doesn't even have it up right now, and they have 2 smites on Golden Guardians.
Yeah, that'd be tough. I keep forgetting Mickey has smite. In that meta again, where you get a few more on the map. 20 minutes in, they're still going to try to make it a maybe 80-20, 90-10 Baron chance, but it doesn't look like they're going to make it anywhere close. They even mark Rainover for a possible follow-up fight, and Golden Guardians right at 20 minutes grab Baron.
And this is what we've been seeing from them. They have such great drafts where they draft to their strengths, the pushing bottom lane. No Heimerdinger ban or pick today except for this game. We're in game 4, and then you see this come out huge. They wait for Darshan to face check. Then the Devour gets used on him. And Stixay gets caught here. Lorlo throws the ultimate down, goes straight for Stixay, hits him with both parts of it and the E, keeps him locked up, even gets him with the W into the clap, and that gets Deathly to get that kill on top of it. And then Mickey's already in the background. There's so much havoc here and chaos. The Golden Guardians are thriving in it.
And one of the biggest things you don't deal with a lot, and the reason you ban that Fiddlesticks, is silence. Making you think you cast something, but you didn't cast it. You have that split second that can completely destroy you in a fight. The little things. Golden Guardians is working off of those huge right now. Seems like they're going to try to get a kill onto one. A Devour comes in as that's Mickey going down. They have to reconsider as they use Rift Herald and cannot follow up on the damage. Definitely's going to stay, however, for a little bit as they start to turn around and look for the bot side of the map.
Yep, look for the bot side of the map. This is also Contract's, I believe this will be his 4th mark, so I actually think it's a pretty big priority for the team to actually secure it for him. Make sure that he gets that extra range, because it increases Kindred's range by 75, bringing him from 500 to the 575. I don't think he got it, though. Okay, well, interesting. Maybe my spectator's broken, I don't know. But regardless, goes in, uses the ultimate. Huhi gets out just barely, and then he gets devoured by Biofrost, but Mickey, ooh, picked up there right in the middle of all of it.
Into the top red side jungle. Red's about to come up for Stixay, who he's just making sure that happens safely, as they have actually a pretty reserved ward line going through the back side of their jungle. You can see how confident Golden Guardians is at pushing their wards up, protecting their wards. It's really starting to suffocate CLG ever so slightly. 7-5 now, coming up on 23 minutes into the game. 3-0-1 for Deathly on that Heimerdinger, and Deathly has been absolutely loving this. I talked to him a few days ago. He says, I love playing the Vlad. It's really fun. And now he's been loving the Heimerdinger.
Yeah, he's been fantastic at it. He got those private lessons from Heisendong. Apparently they're all on YouTube. You can look them up at any time if you want.
Check them out.
He definitely has been playing the champion longer than other people in North America. Was early to that train, to the point that he was even banned against them. The one game before Rift Rivals where Europe came over and was just like, hey, by the way, this is a really good champion that everybody should probably know. But it's interesting because we are now going into week 5 where there have been 2 weeks now that you've been able to go, okay, how powerful is this champion? Maybe you should put some time into it. And I'm surprised that it wasn't picked or banned until game 4, so definitely there.
20 seconds left on that buff. Counterlogic Gaming doing quite a good job at defending this one, and we'll see how much Golden Guardians made off it overall with their return on investment. Ooh, not a good positioning for Reignover. He's going to go down immediately as he's going through the very unsafe part of town 23 minutes in.
So there's no safe part of town left here. It's Golden Guardians town now. They're going to go straight for that top turret. That mid turret is going to be pushed in by Mickey as he catches the wave. And now they just own the map. And think about the wave clear. Whenever you're behind in a composition, you have to think about what wave clear do you have. CLG basically have, well, Tarshan, well, that's not going to help at all. He just threw that out. And hold on.
Oh, slow down with the first. Brittle knock up on the second. Almost a stun from the grenade, and he gets the follow-up. A few more shots as they flash forward to secure the kill on Darshan. The damage kind of keeps trickling in, and CLG is leaving themselves right in line of it.
And that was just a play where they were able to catch them out. And Darshan, you saw Darshan Huhi trying desperately to defend the turret. They don't want to have more objectives get away from them because the game is really running away from them.
Yeah.
CLG, they fell behind, looked like they could maybe stay in it a bit, but the wave clear is a big issue with this composition. They don't have much available to them, and the sieging of Golden Guardians is just better. And we saw it there where they were able to walk up and then start to engage, even though they didn't have a minion wave.
Looking at Stixay as well. Nasher's Tooth coming in along with that needlessly large rod next. See the wit's end in there. Let's get more speed, more on hit. Just keep tagging people's magic resistance.
I think he's going death cap.
Right,
next,
absolutely.
Potentially,
Oh,
just
yeah.
because of the AP build. But he has the Ninja Tabis to kind of deal with Contracts and Mickey, but at the same time, it's once again, yo, they have this Fiddlestick Sphere.
Yo,
they
man.
have this stun. There's so much CC that we saw it in the previous fights where Stixay was just locked up forever, and he's kind of relying on Biofrost for the Devour, for the Cleanse Devour, and assuming that he would be a target, but this CLG composition really does rely on Stixay to output damage, so it's hard for him to kind of itemize here. And he is ahead in terms of CS, but it's hard for him to be effective. He has an assassin on his back. He's got these mages slinging spells at him in CC. It's hard to operate. And then you have the big Ram God coming at you too.
Yep. And the thing about Varus against Fiddlesticks too is you have your charged up piercing arrow. If you're in the back line, you just get lamp silenced out there. Oh my word, the damage from Contracts right now. Absurd. 208 physical damage coming out from him along with his abilities. He's got those marks for himself and just wreaking havoc from the jungle.
Yeah.
This is the Contracts we saw in the beginning when he was playing Kha'Zix, and he was kind of trying to control the game as well from the jungle, and it feels much more comfortable.
Yeah, because he was playing Graves at the start, then he was playing things like Braum, a little bit of Trundle, and then Kindred Xin Zhao in his last 2 games, his last 2 wins, and now on the Kindred again. Just the aggressive junglers really do suit this guy's playstyle.
They speak to him.
Yeah, and that's why when they came out of the draft, I was like, Golden Guardians, you really couldn't have asked for much more. Maybe Aatrox top, but
So
even
true.
then, it's not going to be a great engage tool. So the fact that they were able to get this draft just kind of speaks to what we said at the very beginning of the day, where their champion pools are so large and they're playing so many things, or at least these things haven't been banned against them in a way where it's like force Mickey off the Talon, which was picked later on.
It's such a good point. Look at the level of that talent. 16, the highest in the game, which he's the first to reach final level of ultimate, and he is going solo to see if anybody wants to even 1v1 him right now.
No
so
thanks.
much strength in this pick for him, and teams let him get it again.
No thanks. Good not dueling him. And he's going to hit 17 before anybody else. He might hit 17 before the members of CLG even hit level 15 here.
Yeah, it looks like it. They're in mid, so they're going to be sharing that XP, a bit of a slow on that. And they're all going to have to funnel that CS between themselves. Close to 300 there for Stixxay. He is getting quite built up. The member they need to protect. We saw how bad it was once Biofrost actually consumed Darshan. If Stixxay stays alive, that means Golden Guardian dies. Here comes Call the Forge God. It's all in defense, though. Quickly going over to Darshan as the fight is all the way up the map from River to mid-second tier. Darshan about to go down as he uses the stopwatch, and he lives. But it's going to be Mickey over the wall, parkours to get himself a kill, and picks that one up for the team as CLG try to route themselves on the right side. Down bottom lane, Golden Guardians continue to control every fight so methodically.
And you can see Mickey just continues back to the top side, gonna go for the red. And this means that rain over, the smite is down, potentially another Baron here. They have Deathly's ultimate, can throw down a big turret, can have Matt tank. There's a lot they can do here to just get this Baron, no problemo.
Golden Guardians playing with so much patience in these fights as well. You could easily have gone for more kills there, knowing they already had the advantage. Back for Baron, the second one of the game. 28 minutes in. We'll see how they use this one.
And Golden Guardians, like this is a team that was 10th place last split. They only got 4 wins out of the 18 games. They're at 4 wins now, 8 games in.
Yeah.
This is the last game for the first half of the round robin. And that means that they would exceed their record if they win this game, that they are actually already better than they were last split. And remember, they only made a single change to the roster. And you can see Mickey in the back line, the person they did change out, able to swap targets after he zones out Huhi, goes in for rain over, throws out the W and the R, and then just goes back to him. He is playing with the members of CLG.
Mid-bite. I look pretty good. Back and forth. This is what it escalated to when we saw him play it against Clutch on day 1 of week 4. Mickey just started hopping over every wall.
Yeah, and remember we said 6-4 and 6 was the scoreline. 3-2 and 3, but he's causing so much pressure.
Right.
He's 2 levels above Huhi. He's been 2 levels up. He's really far ahead of where Stixxay is, and it means
Just hit it.
He's level 18 now. He's 3 levels ahead. He's already hit max level 29 minutes into the game. And he's just gonna split push. He almost has full items. He's about 2 halves away, and then he'd be able to just have that max build. Where you're looking at somebody like Stixxay is just cresting 3 items and boots, and he's just so far ahead, which means that this is so scary to play against. I don't care if you're the Tom Kench or even just the Marksman. The Marksman's gonna get deleted.
Yep.
Tom Kench is somebody who, he maybe could save him, but he also risks getting just blown up on the map.
You gotta think, you know, that's the things we talked about for Mickey in Academy when he played those crazy Scion games and would just absolutely control it or have another unique pick. Here you think, well, maybe they'll just ban out the talent. 8-1 and 8 on Zoe in that second day of week 4, so he is feeling confident on each one of those picks so far. I wonder how many more he's got that he's going to feel this confident on. 10-5, 30 minutes in, and a 10,000 gold lead for Golden Guardians over Counterlogic Gaming.
This is something they can be very happy with. The fact that they've already kind of used their core members of Contracts, Deathly, and Matt from last split, and said, all right, we're just going to go for dive buddies, and here comes Morlo, the other guy,
Not
it
even
out.
giving them a chance to think about the fight, instantly taking down Rainover and the inhibitor turret. Lorlo now on to Darshan with the shots from Contracts as they are just quickly pushing CLG back. The only safety they have is on the fountain, but Golden Guardians give them a little reprieve as they head towards bot lane, and now it's going to be the bottom lane inhibitor. Top could be ready for the push as well. 50 seconds left onto Baron. How far do Golden Guardians go?
Yeah, it's a bad day to be a low mobility tank. They are just shredding through them. Reignover has died 5 times. Tom Kench, Biofrost had died 3 times. If you are out of position, they are just going to destroy you. And right here, Golden Guardians are pushing in. That is their second inhibitor that they're going to be able to get here. And there's no respawn yet on Reignover.
Golden Guardians able to take mid and bottom tier inhibitor contested, basically with Lorlo tanking the entirety of it. And now Mickey has pushed in the top wave with 17 seconds left. It's going to be Golden Guardians going for one more. Do they go for broke? Kuki goes down.
Whoa.
Mickey gets him right at the last moment, and it's going to be a double kill for Mickey coming in as Reignover falls. Stixxay gets silenced as he's trying to fire in from the back line. Lorlo taking a bit more damage than he wants as Golden Guardian rethinks the engage. 2 more turrets stand in front of the Nexus for CLG as Golden Guardians look to finish the job.
And that is insane. They already killed Reignover Hui, and now they're ready to start going. But triple inhibitor, I feel like they're going to wait a few more seconds here. You can see Lorlo is probably going to back here. He has teleport with the finishing touches on, but Darshan tries to engage.
The backs are just baits. They know they have the Devour out. That means
Mickey.
someone can definitely fall. Mickey has a Nexus to jump over, but would be very close to the fountain turret. And now it's going to be Darshan, one last barrel. Does he have the presence that Golden Guardian wants? He goes down, the kill for Matt. The Nexus in favor of Golden Guardians as they take down Chronologic Gaming.
And the Golden Guardians end the first half at 5-4. Already a better record than last split. More wins on the board.
And it's like any sport, going into halftime, going into the half, you hit a good score, you hit a final point. They're on a 3-game win streak as they start that second half, and that's got to feel really good.
It's got to feel amazing, especially for the guys who were through that 4-14 split, where it looked like there was so much wrong that people were saying this team, you know, maybe they'll never get it together. They made a single change where they just made it so that, all right, let's change the shot calling around a little. Let's add Mickey, this mechanical guy in the mid lane that can match other mids. People were saying we're not buying it just yet. 5-4, over 500 record at the halfway point, and Golden Guardians are picking up a lot of fans.
And it's across the map for them as well. Doing a very good job at utilizing Lorlo or the bot lane and switching up unique picks around the map. Now 5-4 versus Counterlogic Gaming's 5-4 as Golden Guardians move up in the standings. So now we're going to send it off to Avali, who is standing by for an interview with the Golden Guardians top laner.
Thanks, guys. Lorlo, congratulations on that victory and being on a win streak. How does it feel to be the team on the rise?
Feels really good, honestly. I think we've had really good practice recently, and we've just fixed a few things that made, I think, really huge improvements, and I think it's showing over the week. So I'm really, really proud of all my teammates and how much growth we've had.
And we also saw you take on Darshan in the top lane on a Gragas. What's your experience with top lane Gragas, and how did that lane play out for you?
Yeah, honestly, that was my first time playing that matchup in like a month and a half, so I really didn't know what I was doing exactly, but I kind of just played like any Ornn matchup at tank versus tank. You can just buy items and you kind of just scale it out, so it was pretty easy overall.
And speaking of which, we've seen you swap from tank and carries up in the top lane. How has your play style changed to kind of fit with your team?
Yeah, I think I just want to pick what's best for the team comp more so now. I think when Aatrox was really strong before the rework, he's even strong now, but when Aatrox was picked a lot more, not just permaband, I could play more carries in that regard. But I think we'll see me on more carries in the future. It's just when our comp has like Heimerdinger Fiddle, it's better to play something like a tank. So.
And you guys have had a phenomenal performance on Golden Guardians right now. And really the only change, noticeable change, was Mickey coming in. But I want to ask you a little bit about shot calling and how that dynamic has kind of changed.
Yeah, so it's way more collective now. I think it's more just everyone giving input, and then we have just a smart team. I feel like we're learning a lot and really fast, so we're all pretty much on the same page for the most part during the game, and it's showing a lot. Like, we're getting better at controlling vision. We're just understanding where we need to be as 5 and just how to rotate around the map, and I think as weeks go on, we're going to get stronger and stronger.
Well, thank you, and congratulations again on your victory. And for more on the game, let's hear from the analyst desk.
Again. Thank you very much, Avli. Golden Guardians coming up with another big victory here over CLG. Things are looking good for this squad now on a 3-game win streak. again, let's dive right into the team comps and the way that they were drafted for both of these squads. An AP heavy composition with the Heimerdinger and, of course, the Fiddle in the bot lane, but they cover with that Talon and the Kindred with the mid jungle duo.
Right. I think that this team comp actually works really well for Golden Guardians. I think they did a good job of picking to their strengths. You know, Lorelow's always been like a really solid tank player. Contract's very good jungler. He can make Kindred work. Mickey's been playing Talon, and then their bot lane, you know, it's like Heisendong's Apprentice and Matt's Fiddle. So like I think they had like a very solid draft, covers pretty much all the bases, good damage spread. And then we go over to CLG, and it's not necessarily bad, but it's pretty like snowbally.
What are your thoughts on CLG's side of the draft? Because we will maybe talk about this Gragas in particular, but overall, how do you feel, Mark?
I feel like they got red-sided. Like we talked about at the top of the day, it's like, well, what do you ban? Like you have to ban those 3 things. Golden Guardians have a lot of pocket picks that are really good. You have to give over the Heisendong's Apprentice to him, and then you also get Mickey's Talon, which looks great, and then Contracts gets his Kindred, and it's like, well, you couldn't drop any of your bans.
Right.
And those were taken 1, 2, 3, aside for the Talon to the last one, but like, what are you supposed to do? Like, you're just red-sided. Like, that's how the draft goes right now. And, they, you know, they tried some tricky stuff with the Renekton mid to make up for it, but, like, I don't look at that and say, there's a ton CLG should have done in the draft different, other than potentially, like you were saying, that Gragas pick.
Right. I don't think their draft was bad by any means. I don't think they lost off draft. I do think they last picked Renekton, and you pretty much are going all in on just full shutting down Talon and winning the game off mid-difference from this draft.
Well, so then let's take a look at some replays here, the way that Mickey piloted this Talon in particular, because there was a lot of action around the mid lane from both squads in the early game.
And this is why people call him coin flip Mickey. You never know what you're going to get in the 2v2s. Here, not on the same page as Reignover, doesn't flash in, so Reignover lives, and if they both got that double kill, they can then turn on to Huki and maybe get a 2-for-1 instead they get a 0-for-1. This time, coin flip comes up heads. Great 2v2, is able to kite this one out. Reignover gets chunked out really hard by that. Re-engage with the Q, get that kill. Great job, Mickey. Go for the 3rd one in a row.
All right, flip the coin, Mark. What do we get?
Flip the coin, we're getting heads. Great dive attempt here, finishes off Biofrost, but the escape came up tails.
Somebody just knocked the table. I think that heads do it tails.
Yeah, fell off the table, ended up tails at the end of the play, because he could have just gone to Contracts with his ultimate, and then both of them could have left the turret together as the minion wave was pushed. Either way, Mickey did a good job not getting shut down by the Renekton. He was still effective in making plays, which was pretty important.
He did. I will say that in his last tails, he did get Varys' flash.
That's true. He got one little extra thing with the flash.
That could have been planned. We never know.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. I mean, so a little bit of joking there, but all jokes aside, Mickey actually did play quite well on that Talon, as was mentioned by the casters. He sat at about a 2-level lead for the majority of the game, so really outpacing in experience, which gave him that threat potential. But where it all came together for Golden Guardians was around the Baron, and it was the guy who was being interviewed just moments ago, Lorelo on this, or 19 minutes in the game. Hey, Meteos, where do you not want to get aced 19 minutes into the game?
I think right in front of Baron as it's spawning is one of the worst places to get killed, but we got to say this was a fantastic engage from Lorelo. He basically completely crowd controls Varys by himself. He goes in 1v4, makes a lot of time, and just wins the game for his team, or at least wins that fight. Really huge engage by Lorelo, and I think that was a massive reason why they had such an advantage.
That's a surprising amount of damage coming out of that Kindred, topping the charts.
Yeah.
Wow. She does do very well against champions with high health pools.
True.
And I will say that CLG's comp doesn't line up very well into Golden Guardians, assuming it doesn't snowball, because Heimer Fiddle is insane against dive champions. You know, you don't want to run into Heimer's turret.
Right.
Kindred's very good against champions with lower range than her, so I definitely think that once Golden Guardians had that initial lead, it was going to be really hard for CLG to come back.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, in that replay itself, we talk about the great engage from Lorelo. There was a bit of hang time there. It almost looked pretty scary. It was like, where's all the follow-up damage going to come through? And it was the 3rd bounce on that grenade that ended up zeroing.
That was super close. If they didn't get that Varys, that could have gone super bad. Reignover actually canceled Fiddle's ulti during that
times.
one. Yeah, but that one was pretty huge. I think Matt felt safe because he was on a pink ward. I don't know if Reignover had vision of him, but he did get him with the pillar, which was pretty good, and could have swung the fight.
Yeah, it's one of the exact same reasons that it's hard for CLG to dive on the side of Golden Guardians, hard for Golden Guardians to get on top of the side of CLG. If that Fiddle ult gets stopped, Heimer's not going to like flash forward and try and do anything. So the third last
Talon's the guy who goes forward, Heimer a little bit less so. So, you know, so maybe disenergy there, but ultimately they played it well around the global objectives. And I think what we got to talk about is a 5-4 Golden Guardians on the first half of the split. They've already eclipsed the number of wins they had last split as a, you know, in the first 9 games. So this is a much improved team, and I think you can maybe even speak to a little bit of, you know, what you've seen from this squad from spring to summer split and the improvement they've made.
Oh, for sure. Their team looks like they've just been playing a lot better together right now, and I don't know how much of that is just that in spring split they were a really new roster, they never played together. By this point they have a lot more experience, and then they also made the roster change of Hai leaving and Mickey coming in, and I think maybe part of that is, you know, Hai is very well known for his shot calling, and when he left, I guess everyone else in the team sort of had to rise to the occasion. Like, it wasn't one person having a big voice, it was everyone.
Do you think, I mean, I've played a couple normal games with Hai, and I have to admit how nice it is to be able to like shut your brain off when you play with Hai because he tells you what to do. But I could also see a world where that becomes a trap because as a player, if I'm used to being told what to do, I stop thinking, right? I stop looking for those learning moments of like, hey, do I know how to play the game? Do I know how to stretch my own advantages? And if you remove this guy who you normally rely on for those things, it can kind of force those other 4 players to be like, oh crap, I have to learn how to play with my own advantages all of a sudden.
That's definitely a hard thing, and I've personally gone through both things, you know, playing with Hai and playing without Hai. And I do think that his shot calling on C9 is sometimes a little overstated. Like, he did have a very big voice in the team, but I don't think he was the only one talking.
Right.
But there definitely is a different mentality between like, okay, on this team, all I'm going to do is listen to our leader. And being like, okay, now I'm responsible for everything that I'm doing. Like, I need to create advantages. I need to help my team like find the windows themselves. So maybe that change just helped all the other players.
Yeah, and I also think they deserve credit for using their brains out of game as well, like actually learning the new picks, like the fact that they play the Heimerdinger and now you can't ban it out on red side. Like, not every team abuses blue side as hard as I think Golden Guardians does, where they have that, they have the Talon, they have the Kindred. A lot of people are not abusing all the strong picks that we're seeing in solo queue and other regions.
And that's brought them to 5-4. They'll be very happy about that on the first half of the split. There's one more game before we wrap things up. FlyQuest hopes to continue their rise versus Clutch Gaming. See you here after the break.
Is it disrespect if I say boy? To elder? No.
To elder?
No, it's fine.
This is
my elder.
Double buffs for both. That would be huge. It could go over to Mickey. Maybe a reset on the one, but the hit comes in. Mickey over the wall. They're going to dive under the turret. And Biofrost is down. Mickey putting that team at to work. What? A piercing arrow from Stixay.
Want to have a good fight.
That's got to feel very good for them. They just used Devour onto Darshan, and now they can go for Stixay.
I'm sensing.
Yeah, look,
No flash. We're connecting no flash. I can hear Gragas in 1 second. I feared him.
I don't have anything. Just do.
Do they go for broke? Kuki goes down. Mickey gets him right at the last moment, and it's going to be a double kill for Mickey. The Nexus in favor of Golden Guardians as they take down Counterlogic Gaming.
If meat and bread are the backbone of a sub, then Mike's Way is the heart and soul. Lettuce and tomatoes, onions and spices, all drizzled in the juice. That's the difference. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.